This is going to be my video as to why I'm voting for Andrew Yang for president in 2020. The very first time I will have ever voted. So I'm homeless. I'm in New York City right now. Over here on the Lower East Side, sitting under the Williamsburg Bridge. Maybe a little bit of backstory. September 15th, I lost a baby. September 15th, 2018. And I've just had a really hard time finding a reason to wake up in the morning, to be satisfied in life, to see other people, and when they're happy and they're like pushing their kids in their stroller and they're just doing whatever. And I hate those people. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I don't like to see other people. And anyway, it's really hard for me to find things that I enjoy or that I want to do or that I can motivate myself to do because I just don't care. And whatever. I mean, this is Twitter, social media. I don't need to have like a whole big explanation on like self-hatred or anything like that, right? But yeah, I don't like myself, and that was like a really traumatic experience that hurt me and still hurts. It's it's just over a year. So anyway, a couple of weeks ago I was living in Indiana, and quit my job at the co-op, the health food store that I worked at, and whatever, just lost my place, lost everything, just didn't care. I was drinking every day. And so just now, here I am. I got to New York City because I'd never been here and I just wanted to go somewhere else and maybe feel something different. And if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, kind of a thing. So I'm walking back over here to this park to get my hammock. I sleep in a hammock, and I have like my clothes and stuff and everything in a bag that I stash away because, well, walking down the street with a big bag of stuff. I mean, I'm sure that some people will be able to relate, but there is a look of disgust on people's faces when they see you that makes you feel so ashamed. It's something you can't wash off, and I hate it. And even now, sitting here on this bench where I sit often, as the people go by, maybe I'm projecting, but there's a visible look of like, hey, fuck you. I don't like you, and you shouldn't be here, and you're not the same as me. Anyway, like, I'm a good person and you're a person that doesn't deserve the same things that I have. And that's definitely I mean, at least the energy that I pick up off of a majority of people. I've never anyway, so my bag I stash away over by where I set my hammock up at. And that's been totally fine. That's worked for me for like the summer when I was in Fort Wayne. And I just walked over to find that it had been taken. And I don't know if this was somebody else who had taken this, or if it was just like the police, because Blue Bloods is shooting a scene over here. And so like they walk through, and I mean, I don't know. But it's not there anymore. And it had all my clothes and my hammock inside of it. Now, I have one set of clothes, one pair of socks. Like, I just have, like, it had my pants inside of it and my shirts and my hammock. It had everything that I owned inside of that bag. I don't have any clean clothes now. Like, I don't. I'm so upset about it. I'm super pissed off. And there's literally nothing I can do about it. It's totally out of my control. I could go and whatever, start over again, like always. But if Andrew Yang were president right now, and universal basic income were a reality in America, maybe just off the top of my head, either the person who found it would have just not needed it, not have needed to take someone else's clothes and hammock, because why would you? Or I would just be able to go spend the $40 on a new hammock, and it'd be totally fine, and I wouldn't sleep on the ground tonight, which isn't horrible, but it hurts. I mean, go outside and sleep on the concrete tonight, because you can sleep in the grass, you get ate up by bugs, if you don't have anything underneath you. So you sleep on concrete or on a bench or something, your hips hurt so bad. I sleep on my side. It sucks. It's not enjoyable. I'm not about to have a good night. Whereas before, whatever, I was comfortable with my meaningless existence of sleeping in a hammock every night, watching the boats go by. I just there's I love being an American, and I love being an individual, and I believe in individual freedom more than anything. But at a certain point, like, we all kind of have to come together, and like, where it's not everybody out for themselves, and when you come across something that isn't yours, you don't have to take it, or you don't, whoever it was, another homeless person who needed the stuff, whatever, sure, they can have it. But I mean, more likely it was probably the police or someone who comes and plays tennis or basketball or something, and be like, oh, here's a bag of homeless stuff, I'm gonna take it, and I'm cleaning up the neighborhood, I'm doing a good thing because these people are a blight on the community, which is partially true. But okay, I'm at 7 minutes, I'm gonna go to 10, and I'm just gonna add here at the end, like, as someone who's experienced just mental illness and chronic depression and whatever, I just don't care about life. Meeting people who live on the street, I can, like, a lot of them are not good people, and they're just not. But many of them, like, it's the LGBT youth. If you see a kid out on the street, I mean, that's normally what it is. And then if it's not that's a sexual assault, like, survivor, that is somebody who's been molested or raped, especially amongst men. If you see, a 50-year-old man or a 60, whatever, you just see somebody out on the street, that person was probably molested, raped, sexually assaulted, traumatized in their youth, and then they never found any way to heal that trauma. And being a man in America or in the world, you're told, well, somebody else has got it worse than you, so you better suck it up and just whatever, like, your pain isn't valid, you don't be a pussy, you need to be strong, stuff like that, whatever. And then I mean, some of the people just happen to be, whatever, bad people, that is a thing. But a majority, it is so much mental illness and so much trauma that these people have experienced that they can't function in society. And I totally relate to that, because I personally cannot function in society. I find it very, very difficult to care about a lot of things. Just, it's like, oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Last thing. Maybe I'm going to bring it around to my original point, that I think that when I knew I was going to be a father, I felt purpose in life. I felt purpose in life that I'd never felt before, because I never really had any dreams. Like, it's like, oh, I could grow up and do this or that or whatever. And really, I only ever wanted to be loved. That's it. I wanted to be an actor, be a performer, be an entertainer, be I wanted to have people listen to what I had to say and to admire and love me for it. That's really what I wanted, and that's still what I want. And because somehow I feel like that's going to be fulfilling to me. But then I was like, oh, I'm going to be a father. I felt purpose in my life like I had never felt before, and when that was just dashed away, yeah, you know what? It's just hard to care about things. And do I think Amazon and Facebook and giant tech corporations should be taxed? Absolutely. Would I like $1,000 of it? Absolutely. You want to know why? Because I just want to travel. That's it. I don't want to do anything. I don't care about starting a business. I'm not going to invest any of the money. I'm not. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to travel the world on $12,000 a year for the rest of my life until I find something meaningful. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's why I'm voting for Andrew Yang. And honestly, if the person who found my bag with the Grand Trunk green hammock in it, fuck you. God damn it. I slept in that. I don't come to your house and just take your house, take your bed. I'm upset. Seriously. Thank you. Vote Andrew Yang.